Our life can tend to lead us down a path of moving faster and faster until eventually we don't even have time to think of the things that matter most to us. What is the purpose for our endless grinding? Do we even know anymore? It can be hard to remember, but just like in music and movies, just like the markets, or even the breeze on a summer day as it sways the trees to and fro, life itself has a sort of rhythm to it. There is a cadence that, when we get it right, everything else seems to flow with ease. Sure, there may be times of stress and sorrow, times to plant, water, and harvest, so to speak. But there are also times when it is equally important to just relax and soak in all the beauty around you. Reflect on the abundantly good things in your life and how far you have come, how far you will go. The paths we walk may take us to destinations that are unforeseen. Step by step, we walk along this life in pursuit of meaning, the purpose behind all that we do, the pace for which we wisp through our lives, driven by outward and inward desires, our being defined by our doing. Everyone has their own drumbeat. When you walk in step with that beat, you begin to realize that there are things you desire but can't really do anything about. Remember that rhythm. Focus on what is in front of you and listen to the pattern of your soul. Inside your soul, you hold so much more than just emotion and desires. In your soul, you also hold the keys and answers. Your soul will tell you when it's time to calm. Let go of any anxiety and just be. Get out in nature and spend time with your family. Just be. Listen to the different parts of the depths of your being. When you go to the gym, if you work the same muscle groups to failure every single day, they will not grow. Eventually they become injured and will begin to hold you back. Extra hard work becomes counterproductive. Everything in life is the same way. We hit a point where repeating the same behavior without ebbs and flows will result in burning out. Our purpose and our fulfillment rest in a careful balance. The art of life and the meaning behind our actions begins a new journey of self-awareness, a new way to exist, to grow, and to become.
You guys can tell, again, we're at a little bit different location. If you caught our last culture video, we were out at Lake Michigan. We were in Illinois visiting a friend's business to learn some things. This weekend was a little bit different. This one was a planned trip up to our second location that we call Site B. If you don't remember, we did a video about a year and a half ago, which was sort of the first time that our team jumped into more of a storytelling role with content instead of just speaking to culture or just focusing on training or just focusing on the stuff that you guys are used to seeing from us. And it really became, in my opinion, as one of the leaders in the company, kind of this bedrock location for us where not only do we go to get really good content, but we go here to test out gear and create new products like the little portable stove that you guys have not seen up until this point. Gives us the opportunity for our team to dive deep into the creative realm, the stuff that we really don't get the chance to do at our home base. And Site B, to me, is like this refreshing sort of reset. It's a different pace for me. Now, I'm gonna be the first to admit that Site B, when we're filming, is not even remotely relaxing because, for example, over the last 5 days, we've been up until 3 to 5 a.m. We've been waking up around 9, 10 a.m. in the morning, filming all day and then filming all night. And on this creek bed and this rock that I'm sitting on is the location that we ended an iconic shot that we just filmed last night. So I don't know when this video is going to be posted. I don't know if you guys have seen the launch of this new storyline that we have coming. I've teased about the Exodus companies, and I've told you guys some insider information on what we have to come. So I don't know when this video is going to be launched, but it's Sunday. It's a beautiful day. It was raining this morning, and the weather finally cleared out, so we figured we would come down here and film. And ultimately, the only thing that I really wanted to talk to you guys about right now today was sort of a rhythm of intentional reset. And I don't feel like I often do this enough in my life, where I come out into the places that I find the most peaceful and I just sit. And I think that as people and a culture, we would do better for ourselves to spend some intentional time creating those rhythms. So for example, last night we were out late again. It was freaking pouring. I mean, we were soaked. All the cameras were soaked. All the gear was soaked. My business partner, which you guys know him as Tactical Sense, Ethan, he and I were walking down through this creek bed with our nods. We were filming a specific shot that we wanted to get for the launch of some new products and a new brand that's coming. And ultimately, the funny part was we're coming down through this creek bed. It's covered in moss. The rocks are treacherous and slippery. Got our binocular night vision. Brenton's filming. He's soaked. Leo was helping with some lighting, and he's soaked. But it was this time that we just kind of connected as a team. And I think coming out of that into this morning, I really realized how exhausted I was. And maybe you can relate to that. Maybe in your life, you kind of just go through the paces and you're just going, and you never stop. And then all of a sudden you take that intentional reset and you're like, holy cow, I'm exhausted. And I know that I go through periods of that in my life where I just don't realize how much I need rest. And I think for me, I can speak only for me personally, but for me, I'm such a driven individual that I want to get stuff done. I'm just driven to do things. And then I never take that intentional rhythm to step back. Think about our culture and tie that into how we experience life. An example is, we were just talking here as Brenton and I were walking down the creek. This area that we're in had a high Indian population at one point, from my understanding. And you think about Native Americans being in this creek bed. So at one point, there were people that had no idea of technology of any sort. They would have walked the same path that we just came down through here today. And think about, in some aspects, how the lifestyle that they lived would have been more fulfilling than the things that we experience now. And some of that I would attribute to a culture that's just nonstop, fast-paced, have to get things done, or even just existing in situations that you're not thriving. And so I think all of that coming full circle points us to the fact that we need to be making these intentional pauses. And I'm guilty of this. I know that from a personal and professional standpoint, I often don't take those times to just sit and relax. And then we look at that from a community standpoint. How often do we ever get together with our circle, our community, our direct friends, family, people that when we're around them, we feel recharged? How often are you actually taking intentional time with them to be fully present? And I'm talking phones away, no distractions, the things that drive you, you're focusing in on them. Maybe that's a hobby. Maybe you like doing artwork down here by a creek. You like painting or telling stories or listening to music. How often are we actually taking those intentional pauses to reset our life, refocus, and become more engaged with the world around us? One of my favorite parts of Site B is the fact that there's zero cell service here. So when we are up here, if our team is sitting around the table and we're eating, there can be no distractions. I mean, maybe we'll have a magazine out, maybe somebody's walking around in the cabin or doing something like that. But at the end of the day, there's no distractions. If we want to get cell service, we've got to drive 3 or 4 miles to get 1 bar of service. So you can't scroll Instagram. You can't be on YouTube. You can't be on TikTok. There's just no distractions. Your phones aren't ringing. And because of that, you're forced into this intentional pause. And I think our society in general would be better off if we would focus in on that. And I touched a little bit last time in the culture video in Lake Michigan about that time management. I think part of what goes into that time management is those intentional pauses. So I just wanted to encourage you guys today to take a day where you have some intentional pauses. Maybe take that trip that you've wanted to take. It can be super close. Buy a tent for $100 at some, I don't know, Walmart or something. It doesn't have to be something quality. Come out to a spot like this, set it up, and sleep for the night under the stars, under the trees, and just listen. When I sit here, if I sit silently, this is peace, and this is connection with the world around me. And as we continue forward with our company, you're gonna be seeing a lot more of that. And you've noticed a trend in our content. It's very different than what it was 3, 4, 5 years ago. That's intentional. We're here to help reset our culture as we know it. And our objective is to create an exodus from all of this stuff that culture says is important that we know for a fact is not. And encourage you guys along that journey to have some intentional resets as well as you build up your community and your preparedness. And at the end of this video here, what I wanted to do real quick was just give you another teaser. So obviously I've got something sitting next to me that you've never seen. There's a logo on this that you've never seen. And that is stuff that's coming. It's very exciting for me to be leading the team through the launch of several new brands with quite literally hundreds of new products. And I'm excited to show you guys what we've been working on. I'm excited to show you guys what's coming. And I really think that, not in a selfish way, but as we go forward, you guys are going to start to see what we are doing and why we're doing it. And I think that it's going to make a lot of sense. And you're going to start to see full circle where TA is going as a company and how it's so much more than just this steel target company that started out in southeastern Pennsylvania in 2015. So guys, that's what I'm going to leave you with today. I want to encourage you to take intentional rhythms in your life, create patterns, but also break away from those patterns. And I would encourage you to encourage your friends and families to do the exact same thing, to make sure that we are taking that time to break away from all of this chaotic environment. Turn off the news. We've said that a million times. Just turn that stuff off. Turn off the garbage that is getting pumped into your brain. And take that time with your family to come somewhere like this and experience the world that's around you, because we're going to be better for it as people, a community, and a nation. That's all I have for you guys today. I really appreciate you. I appreciate the fact that you've stuck with us over the last 7 or 8 years since we started this company. It's meant the world to us, and we're excited to be able to return that favor to you guys through this channel and the channels that are to come. So until next time, guys, stay well. See you in the next one.